When someone says to me, "Can you prove God exists?" I give a very simple response: no. I say that because I know what they mean by prove. They want me to prove the existence of God using rational reasoning, which says nothing can be believed unless there is unmistakable empirical evidence that is so strong no thinking person could possibly miss it. You just can't prove the existence of God that way. But you can't prove the non-existence of God that way either. Those who say there is no God for rational reasons seem to have no problem crediting things like luck or coincidence or chance when they see or experience something they can't explain. Can you prove luck or coincidence or chance rationally? No way. God, luck, and coincidence all require a kind of faith. All of us act on faith way more than we do on rational reasoning. If everything were so logical and clear, you wouldn't have thinking people taking sides on nearly every issue. I mean, think of it. From politics to the best pickup truck, very intelligent, logical thinking people don't agree. They look at some information, which is far from exhaustive. Then they step out in faith, hoping they're right. We fly in airplanes, trusting a pilot we've never met. Is that rational? We drive in cars and trust people we don't know who are coming right toward us that they'll obey the traffic laws. Is that rational? So don't let people corner you on this one. Just because you can't rationally prove that God exists doesn't mean he doesn't. Did you know that the Bible never tries to prove the existence of God? Never. The very first words of the Bible are, "In the beginning, God." He's just there without any explanation. That's because the Bible's written from the perspective that everyone deep in their knower knows God exists. It's just part of being created in the image of God. God has placed a kind of divine awareness chip in every person. So regardless of what anyone says, I take God at his word and assume that deep down they know he's there. And you should assume the same thing. Never forget that people want what you and I have. They'd love to know God. We just have to figure out a way to work with God to help them discover him. And when they do, they'll love it. There are only two worldviews when it comes to God. Theism, which says there is God, and atheism, which says there is no God. It can't be both. It's one or the other. Atheism says we live in a godless existence, are the product of time and chance, our existence is meaningless other than what we can carve out for ourselves, and will eventually return to nothingness. Theism says there is a God with supernatural intelligence who gives meaning and purpose to the universe and to humanity, and that every person is eternal. Now, since neither theism nor atheism can be proven with rational reasoning, let's just call them theories. And the test of theory, in simplified terms, you collect data, you do some testing, and then you ask the question, does this theory explain our observations and experiences? So let's do that. If you go with atheism, that there's no God who gives humanity and the universe a sense of meaning and purpose, and that everything is the result of time and chance, you'd expect a lack of design, chaos, disorder, and no moral sense of right and wrong. I mean, that's what happens without a plan, right? It's just survival of the fittest, and whatever happens, well, just happens. If you go with theism, that there is an intelligent God who gives meaning and purpose to humanity and the universe, you'd expect order. You'd expect creative and intelligent design. You'd expect morality with an innate sense of right and wrong. You'd expect beauty. You'd expect something to come out of nothing in ways you can't explain, because an all-powerful, intelligent God could do that kind of stuff. It doesn't take rocket science to see that our world has an incredible sense of order and design at every level. From astronomy to the ecosystem, to the laws of science and physics, to the human body, we see unexplainable order that keeps working day after week, after year, after century. Things our rational minds tell us just couldn't happen by luck or chance or coincidence. When we look at humanity, we see a morality of kindness and caring with the ability to love, rather than base survival of the fittest of the animal kingdom. When we look at the universe, we see things springing from nothing in ways we just can't explain. So from the collection and observation of data, the existence of God or some greater power offers a better explanation of what we see and experience than the non-existence of God. So, does this answer every question? Of course not. I didn't move the conversation into a discussion of evolution, the age of the earth, or the intricacies of the human body. These are all wonderful discussions for some other time, but our goal here is to create an opportunity to communicate the life-giving message of the gospel. So at this point, I'd probably say something like, one of the best ways to learn about God is from Jesus, who was seen by thousands of people. If you have a few minutes, I'd love to show you how he made it possible for us to know and connect with God. And if given the opportunity, I'd communicate the good news of the gospel. Never forget that it's the gospel alone, not our great answers, that has the power to change a life today, tomorrow, and forever.